I want to start off with a seemingly simple question. How has social media affected you? In today's day and age, it appears as though we are constantly encased in technology's firm grasp as kids younger and younger are fiddling with tablets thinner than a lunch tray, yet more powerful than old computers, while teens and adults are finding themselves with more followers than friends they could name. With such powerful devices and digital platforms, it can sometimes seem as though everyone from our peers to the most powerful advertisers in the world seek for our approval in the form of a like. In this podcast, I want to discuss how digital platforms, namely Twitter, are starting to challenge key American ideals such as freedom of speech and standing together regardless of personal beliefs. The most rarely seen examples are regarding the increasing political tensions and polarization between parties. To help support this claim, I asked a couple of fellow college students to answer a few questions pertaining to social media. So, Eric, which social media platforms do you currently use?
I am on Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, Tinder, and I think that's it.
How often would you say you use social media?
I would say about 2 hours a day.
2 hours?
If
Sounds
that.
good. Would you say you use social media as a news source ever?
Yes, absolutely. My main source of news, actually. I don't watch any other news.
Do you think social media politically leads one way or another?
Yeah, it probably leans left for me, but I also came from a very liberal part of Chicago, so that could very well be the people I follow. But
Do you think social media has affected your political opinions?
yes.
Like Eric, who's the person I interviewed, many others shared similar opinions and experiences that social media is a main news source for them and is politically biased. In fact, August 2017, 2/3 of Americans claimed to use social media for news coverage, which is significantly more than previous years, including 2016, which only had approximately 62% of Americans reporting doing so, according to research associate Eliza Shear of the Pew Research Center. With this rise, political polarization seems to be increasing as well. According to a study by Chang-Jung Lee, PhD from the University College Dublin, social media promotes political interest and engagement, thereby indirectly affecting users' political views. This polarization, in extreme amounts, is hurting our society as it turns people against each other if they differ in viewpoints, and this is not consistent with our founding principles. Revolutionary War hero Patrick Henry once warned, "United we stand, divided we fall. Let's not split into factions which must destroy that union upon which our existence hangs." Look at today's news articles. Scroll through your Facebook timeline. It seems as though today's society has done nothing but ignore our founding fathers' words to the future generations. The most readily seen example sits at the head of our current executive branch, Donald Trump. Trump seems to use Twitter like no past politician, and this is changing our society. After tweeting condolences after the aftermath of the school shooting tragedy on May 18, 2018, instead of people respecting his actions, he was attacked and challenged. God won't help because it doesn't exist. You could have helped, but refused. You sat with those senators and lied that you supported gun control. It was only for show. These deaths are on you and your NRA buddies, sir, replied Brazil Magic to Donald Trump. This reply received approximately 3.9 thousand likes and over 350 retweets. This tweet challenges the integrity of the President of the United States, attacks a fundamental principle of many religions, and yet is still supported by thousands of people. The reason to why there is such a distrust of anything Trump tweets, regardless of the content, is because he polarizes the country with other hate comments regarding religion, politics, and morals.
A couple of good paragraphs. It's talking about northern New Jersey draws the prober's eye. Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you gotta see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. Oh, I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. said, this is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
In this segment, Trump is blatantly making fun of the speech of Serge Kovaleski, a Times investigative reporter with Arthur Gregg Posses. Just like in this example, Trump is known to attack other groups of people he disagrees with, which leads to a strong dislike for him from people both on the left and right of the political spectrum. By doing such things, he is disrupting the balance in our society and turning people against each other. Instead of being a country that stands on the principle of tolerating differing cultures, religions, and ideals, Trump is turning sides further against each other. The consequences of this can be drastic, as numerous studies have shown that high polarization decreases Congress's efficiency and policy-making capacity. Likewise, political polarization leads to increasing blindness to the flaws in both parties as people become more adamant that their party is always right and should not be challenged. More people are starting to pick a side in the war and not realize the goals in the battles. More people are starting to forget that as a nation, both parties should have the same end objective: to make America a better place for those of today and those of the future generations. In conclusion, political polarization is becoming a major issue in the United States. One of the clearest examples can be seen looking at the President Donald Trump's Twitter timeline. We as a nation should be uniting around issues, not separating because of them. We should be compromising, not deviating further from the political center. We must recognize the flaws in every party, not just the ones we want to see. In order for the United States to progress along with the rise of technology and social media, we must adapt our perceptions in order to keep balance and stability in the U.S. Growing up, my dad used to tell me, whether you are right wing or left wing, everyone is connected to the same bird. Let us not forget that, nor the values this nation was founded upon.